I'll give a little upfront, and then we're going to open this up to Q&A. You guys, you got me, you got some designers in the back, the Four Horsemen are somewhere lost in the sea, and let's just get all the information out there. So let me start, we'll go around the room. So starting in this corner here, we have this little line people have probably heard of, Masters of the Universe Classics. Yeah! So we are what, in our 7th year? My God, we're 150 figures into this thing. We are so close to completing the vintage line. That's kind of the plan for the next year and a half. So we're going to start promoting buying that 2015 sub now, because that's really the focus. Getting that 2015 sub is what's going to finish the line. And of course, to help us get there, we are introducing a brand new add-on sub for 2014. That's the year we're in now. Sometimes I'm already working on 2016. It's hard to remember. So that's going to be Princess of Power themed. Last year it was Filmation themed. A lot of the reason for that, well, A, it is She-Ra Princess of Power's 30th anniversary this year, so that makes a lot of sense. So, who was watching She-Ra back in 1984? So that line is going to consist of 6 monthly figures. 5 of them are going to be at $25 or 26 day of. 1 of them is going to be $30 or I believe 33 day of. It's a little bit more of an expensive figure. It's going to be the last one, the December one. You'll find out who that is at San Diego. So that's a little bit different from the pricing of last year, where they were all the same price. One will be a little bit more to account for a little bit more of an expensive figure. There's also, for the first time, going to be an add-on figure for a sub-only figure for the add-on sub, and that's Light Hope that you saw there. So that's sort of the equivalent of the unnamed one, or King He-Man, or Shadow Weaver. So the 7th figure for the first time as part of that add-on sub, only for getting the add-on sub. The other figures will be available day of. Some actually may not be, much like, I remember Seahawk wasn't. There may be some things like that, but Light Hope definitely will only be available for Princess of Power Club Etheria subholders. The sub will go on sale tomorrow on Monday. Make sure when you're buying the Princess of Power Club Etheria sub, it is a separate purchase from anything else you're buying. You can't also buy the Motu Minis that are on sale tomorrow, or Modulock. It has to be a separate purchase when you buy the sub. And it'll be on sale for the next 3 weeks. There's not going to be a meter. I know a lot of people are going to ask. Essentially, we're pretty much expecting that we're going to hit the minimum. Should the nefarious forces of the Horde come and it doesn't hit the minimum, we'll basically scoop those figures into the 2015 line, is essentially what will happen. But we are pretty much expecting it to sell through just great, based on the numbers we had for the main sub and the interest in She-Ra and the 30th. So you don't look for a meter or anything like that. We're going to assume it has. If for some reason it doesn't, we'll let you know, and those figures that were planned for it will just get pushed into 2015, and there'll be a lot of Princess of Power in 2015. There will still be Princess of Power figures in the main sub for both years, and that's going to come up too. So this was really our way also of helping you complete that Princess of Power line, because there are quite a few left to do. Other than that, some of our other reveals for Motu, we had Rio Blast, who's going to be our September figure. So no more rioting, Rio is coming. He will have, his chest will open, his chaps on his knees will open. He will have the guns that plug into the arms. I think one of them is missing right now. He'll have the backpack that does pull out over his shoulders. One of the gun barrels did break off during transit, but you can see a picture on Matty Collector of the figure fully assembled correctly. There's also a couple little mystery accessories out there for both the main sub and the Princess of Power Club Etheria, so I think people can, it's pretty obvious who they belong to. We'll let you guys chat about that. We also have our 2014 Chase figure, which is the Filmation Cowl and Lookie pack. That's actually going to be $20, not $25, because they're much smaller figures. A lot of that was because Lookie works so well as a Chase figure, because you're always looking for him. And also, I mentioned this on Roast Google Dinner I did a few weeks ago, we're really maximizing every slot for 2014 and 15, which means even that Chase slot, well, last year we did that all-clear Hordak figure, we needed to use the slot essentially to get out a more needed figure. So that's why Lookie and Cowl took that one, and we're really excited because it's finally a way to get out the Filmation version of Cowl, and Lookie that people have been waiting for. They're both articulated at the leg, or the arms and neck. And again, $20, not $25 because they're a little smaller, but they are on the traditional blister, and there's a double bio on the back, one for each. I'll flip that around in a bit. It will go on sale randomly throughout the year, much like Hordak. Got to be on the lookout for Lookie. So there you go. Let's see, I'm thinking anything else. Motu as we move along. You saw that big 12-inch Skeletor that's not painted. So that's really just something we're tinkering with. We know there's a trend right now for larger size vintage figures on giant vintage cards. That's kind of what we're thinking. Let us know what you think. This is just sort of to test it out. There's no commitment to that product at this time. We really want to hear your feedback. What kind of price point would you think that would be at? What kind of characters would you like to see in that scale? And let us know. We're excited to explore other ways of getting more Motu out. All right, I think moving on. Oh, and the minis. Of course, the minis are out there too. We've got 2 more packs. It's the Scare Glow pack and the Man-at-Arms Faker. So those, again, will be shipping every other month throughout 2014. You buy all 6 and you'll get the pieces of the mini Castle Grayskull, which will build up into a mini Castle Grayskull playset, which we had, I think, up in San Diego and New York. So you've seen the complete castle. It looks really cool. The drawbridge opens. You can pose guys on the towers. Most of the figures come with 1 to 2 accessories based on how big they are. I think Scareglow and Stratos only have 1 because they're a little larger with the capes and the backpack. Man-at-Arms and Faker each come with 2. Moving on from that, we walk into our DC world. So we have all 4 of our quarterly, what would have been, I guess, Club Infinitors or Signature Series figures, which is going to be Aquaman, that goes on sale next month. Then followed by Ice, Superboy, and the final figure, Damian Wayne, who actually I think everyone saw first last year at Toy Fair. So he's finally got a home. He'll be in December of 14. He does come with a Batarang, but not the Batarang that's in his hand. His Batarang didn't make the show, so we just sort of stuck another, I think, a Batarang from the Total Heroes line in his hand. That's not the one he comes with. He comes with, I think, the traditional Robin one. I think there's an image on Matty Collector of the correct one, just in case there's questions about why he's holding the Total Heroes Batarang. After that, very excited, we've hinted about a sort of going away item. Well, it's actually 6 items. So that Superpowers cards and figures you see out there, 2014 isn't just the 30th anniversary of Princess of Power, it's also the 30th anniversary of Superpowers, the toy line we all had when we were kids. We were all kids once, right? We're not just buying toys now. It is not a rebranding, it is not a relaunch. So let's definitely get that out. This is not to expect, oh, if they sell really well, does that mean you can start doing these again? No. This is a goodbye gift. We know the line means so much to all of us, myself included, and we didn't want, just because the sub didn't sell through, we didn't want to just end it. It just didn't feel right. We wanted to do something to celebrate almost a decade of 6-inch, 4 Horsemen style DCU figures. And this was a really great way of doing that. So it's going to be a 6-figure series, all of them released on vintage Superpowers cards. You're going to get Superman in his light blue, you're going to get Wonder Woman in her Superpowers deco, you'll get Batman in his Superpowers deco, you'll get a brand new Mr. Mxyzptlk. Did I pronounce that right?
Mxyzptlk.
There we go. Always butchering it. Don't ask me to spell it. He is newly tooled. We essentially use the 5 repaints to pay for the tooling on him. He will come with the biggest piece of Calabac because he is a little small. He's articulated at the arms and the neck. He's in that sitting position. That'll be followed, and then we've got Gold Superman, and finally, my personal favorite, Green Lantern as Riddler, which, for those of you you kids at home, that's originally back in 84, 85, that figure was released only in South America as part of the Super Amigos line, and yes, his package will be in Spanish with the Super Amigos logo. The way these are going to ship, they'll be on their blisters in a white shipper box like everything else on Matty Collector, and then they will each come with a piece of Calabac. The Calabac piece will be polybagged inside the white shipper so that it doesn't interfere in the blister for those who want to don't want to open your Superpowers figures and want to hang them on your wall as is, because they really are works of art like that.
Great.
They're not going to have an inner blister. They're going to look like that in vintage style. They're going to have the punch-out card hole if you want to peg them. On the back, it's not done, but the back is going to have a cross-cell showing every figure that was in the Superpowers line from the DCU line, all lined up literally in the exact same pose. Packaging was going to kill me because I made them go back and like reshoot figures over and over until they got it exactly right. But they did. They did an amazing job. We'll have that to show at San Diego. But it really, and it goes all the way through like Zoom and Wonder Twins, like those figures that were, if it was even a concept figure in Superpowers, we put it on the back in the cross-sell. So you Man-Bat, Clark Kent, the whole 9 yards. So it's a really cool homage to that. And once again, not a relaunch of the brand, not a rebranding. This is just a final going away gift. Even if they sell phenomenal, well, that would be good because hopefully we can sell them. It's not going to be something that's going to continue as much as we'd like, because 2015 is already in the planning, and I can tell you it does not have Superpowers figures. So just for the 30th, sort of one time only, 6 figures. They're going to be available in 2 sort of waves of 3. They'll all be individual, but the first 3, I believe, go on sale, I think, in August, and the second 3 in October. You can buy them individually, or you can buy all 3 to save on shipping a little bit. So that's how they're going to work. They're not going to be quarterly or anything like that. And then Doomsday, the bound Doomsday figure for Comic-Con, you saw it there. So he'll be our San Diego figure in a bit of an oversized package. After that, you get into our Total Heroes Ultra figures. So the Total Heroes, the main lines at retail, which is where you're going to get that.